Hi Sunview, it's Mrs. Hilliard. I hope you guys are doing well. I am here today to do the activity for week number 4. We have our bins 1, 2, and 3. In bin number 1, we have our hand strengthening activity. Bin number 2 is our cutting, pasting, and writing activity. And bin number 3 is shoe tying. So we're going to start with bin number 1. And today we're going to work on transferring water using an eyedropper. So some of you guys don't have an eyedropper at home, that's okay. I will show you a way around that. You can just practice pouring water back and forth. You're going to need 2 cups, one empty one and one with water in it, and maybe a little bit of food coloring to make it more fun. I used blue, and I just put 2 drops of food coloring in the water. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to take our dropper, and this is great for pincer grasp or writing grasp. We're going to transfer the water by drawing the water up into the dropper and moving it over to the cup next to it. This is great for visual motor skills, tracking, hand strength, using a stabilizing hand bilateral integration. So it really addresses a lot of fine motor skills. So I have a lot of water in my cup, so it might take us a very long time to do that. But that's okay if you're at home. If you have more time, you can just keep practicing pinching, letting the water come up into the dropper, and squeezing it into the next cup. Now, for those of you who don't have a dropper at home, we're going to try pouring. So what you're going to do is just practice gently pouring the water back and forth. And again, you're working on those wrist strengthening skills, which you need for writing, and your grasping skills, and your fine motor control. So you can do it that way. And then for older kids who are maybe working on some early math skills or math skills, you could practice measuring using a measuring cup. So you can pour it in and you can see, oh look, I have a half a cup of water or a 1/4 a cup of water, and that way you're making it more functional. You can even use 2 measuring cups. So again, you're pouring back and forth. So that's just another way that you can do this task. And that's our hand strengthening task for this week. So I'm going to move that aside. Make sure you have a towel handy, especially if you use food coloring. And we're going to go through bin number 2. For bin number 2 this week, we're going to make a frog. So this will work on our cutting skills, our tracing skills, and following multi-step directions. So you're going to need red paper, green paper, a small piece of white paper or an index card, 2 sized circles to trace. They can be Tupperware lids. I'm using Tupperware. Scissors and glue, and a marker. We're going to set all of this aside, and we're going to start by tracing our big circle. So I really like practicing tracing using templates because it really encourages kids to bring 2 hands together to do a task using a stabilizing hand and a working hand. This also helps kids get some practice drawing shapes. So we have our big circle. Now we're going to trace our little circle. And then we're going to cut them out. So I'm going to cut the big circle out first. Make sure you stay on the line. Don't forget to turn your paper using your non-dominant hand. Some kids like to rip the paper off. I really discourage that. And we have our big circle. Now I'm going to do the little circle. And on the line. And always save your scraps because you never know when you're going to need them. We're going to take our little circle and glue it inside our big circle. Make sure you use lots of glue so it sticks. And when you're done, it should look something like this. You kind of want to evenly space it inside the big circle. All right, now we're going to fold it in half to make our frog's mouth. And when you're done, it should look something like this. Then you're going to take your index card or your small white piece of paper and fold that in half. I want to show you guys how to line up the corners to fold like that. And then you're going to draw another circle on that folded piece of paper. And we're going to cut that out while it's folded so that you'll have two eyes when you're done. All right, now some of you might need X's so you know where to put the eyes. So I will make X's evenly spaced on the folded side of my frog. And then I'll put my glue on the X's. Make sure when you put those little circles on, they're only halfway on. You want them to stick up and really look like a frog. And then when you're done with that, you're going to put little black circles inside your white circles. To make frog eyes. And then taking a scrap of that red paper, some of you can draw a tongue, other kids might need help from mom or dad. We're going to draw a little frog tongue. So you're going to make the letter U and then close it across the top. And we're going to try cutting that out. All right. And we're going to take that tongue, we're going to glue it inside our frog's mouth. And there we have it. We have our frog. The other thing I did was I put 2 dots for his nose. You can do that too. And you have a puppet. So what I did with my frog earlier is I mounted a little straw on the back using tape. You can use a stick from outside. You can use a paint stirrer, anything like that. And you have a frog puppet. Great job, guys. All right, this week I have a poem called The Frog. So I'm going to read it to you. The frog. I was a little frog. Oh, I saw a little frog. I'm reading this backwards, I apologize. He was cuter than can be. He was sitting on a log, and I'm sure he croaked at me. So I'm going to have you guys try to write that poem this week in your best writing. Now remember, you can always use a highlighter and skip a line in between for your best writing. And I know at Sunview we always have our high rate paper, but we don't have that with us here at home. And it's kind of expensive to buy online. And that's what you're going to do to write your poem. I'm going to hold it here in case you guys want to practice using this video at home. So I'll hold it here just for a few seconds, or you can pause this video so you can do it at home. right, great job. All right, the next thing we're going to do is shoe time. And remember, there's two ways to tie shoes. There's our adapted method, where we use 2 bunny ears, and then there's the standard method where we use 1 bunny ear. So I'm going to show you with 2 bunny ears first, so you can practice along with this video. You're going to always keep that hole open. I know you've seen that in my other videos. And you're going to plug in both sides. So we're plugging in that little plastic lace into that hole. And I'm pulling up my 2 bunny ears. I'm going to make an X. The one that's behind comes down through the front. And we pull both loops out to the sides. We're going to make that second knot by pulling up our 2 bunny ears, crossing them. The one that's behind is going to go down through the bottom, through that tunnel, and you're going to pull. And then you can take the little plugs out, or the anchors. Some of us call them anchors. And you've tied your shoe. The other way to do it is to flip-flop your laces, hold them up so you can see an X. Take the lace that's behind and go through the tunnel and pull. Make 1 bunny ear. Make sure your bunny ear has a tail. I know a lot of you forget to leave that tail. And I have a knot in the other lace. I'm going to fly that knot around the lace, save a space underneath, and tuck that knot through the tunnel, and then pull. And I tied my shoe. I hope you guys enjoyed today's activity. I look forward to seeing you all in our next Zoom visit. If you haven't yet scheduled a Zoom visit and you would like to, you can respond to my email. I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. Take care. Signing off.